So I'm glad to be sitting down with y'all today. So I wanted to ask y'all first, who are the Youngs?
When I think about who the Youngs are, I think about who we are as a couple. We are college sweethearts, became best friends, started a family, got married, started a family. I think about who our family is now, our children. We have grandchildren now. We have close relationships with our parents. And of course, most of all, I think about who we are in our faith, because our faith has colored so many of our decisions that we've made in our lives as a couple.
And for me, when I think about who we are, I think about us as individuals too. I think about how you and I have different gifts and talents and passions and our personalities. There are things about us that are the same, but there are things about us that are different. And I also think about us as a couple. Yeah.
So can you tell me more about y'all as a couple?
I think one of the things that Corey and I talk about a lot is that we believe that God has a purpose in putting us together. And one of our purposes that he and I shared over the years is that God has placed us together to authentically walk out our faith in our marriage relationship. Now, by no means that we have a perfect relationship. I think there are times in our relationship that has been really high, and there are times in our relationship that hasn't been so high, kind of low. But I think over the years, we've learned to grow as a couple and to remember our bigger purpose. Like, it's not about me, and it's not about him. It really is about us glorifying God in our relationship. And so what does that look like on a daily basis?
Yeah, I think that's important because, it's not about having a perfect relationship, but we do believe that you can have a solid relationship, which is what we express. As we wrote the book, we talk about it's not about being perfect, but you can be solid. And that comes through learning and growing over the years, and we have been committed to continue to grow with each other in our relationship as well as our relationship with God. And we tell people all the time that we have been in ministry for 27 years, helping other couples. But in reality, we realize that we've been in ministry for 28 years because we've been married for 28 years, and our first ministry is to each other. So we know that ministry starts at home, and that's what we're committed to.
And that's kind of who we are.
Wow, I love that. So now I want to congratulate y'all. Y'all wrote your first book, and that's a really big deal. I want to ask you, why did you write the book Solid as a Rock?
Well, I think we wrote it in my expression of why we wrote it is rooted in what we already talked about before. Just the fact that we have really learned a lot and grown a lot in our marriage relationship over the years. And we also know that, we're a portrait of God's grace as well, because it doesn't matter how much you know, if God is not in it and for you, then your learning can almost be in vain. So we've learned and grown a lot, and through that, we believe we have something to share with other couples so they can know that it's not about being perfect, but it can be solid, which is what we expressed earlier. And then, of course, like she said, to walk out our faith and to know how to really trust God in a relationship.
And I think for me, when we started this project probably about 4 or 5 years ago, one of the things that stood out to me is really gratefulness. Because when I think back at our lives over the years, is that we've had a lot of people in our lives that have supported us, encouraged us. And so for me, I would love this book to be an encouragement for somebody else. And then I think about really during those very difficult times in our relationship, that the other thing is hope, is that I hope this book will provide hope for couples who may be not in a good place right now, but just knowing that when you work hard at something, even when it's not in a good place, that you're able to overcome any obstacle that may come your way. So